Yeah, we live. All right. This is the build, episode 4. About to get into this. Let's get the guys in here. We on now. Yeah, I'm trying to get the guys on, man. I don't know what's going on. Um, Trying to figure this out. I sent the link out. I don't know. Let me just hold up. I guess there was some confusion with the links because I had one up from before and it was all it was all confused. So I'm resending the right link now, and they're getting it. So hopefully they all click in and join. It's always something difficult whenever we deal with the technology. Uh, Trying to get this right now. Actually, what's I'm gonna do right now? Hold up, hold up, I got you. Call them up. See if they answer this hangout session and let them know. Yep. What's good, bro? So you see the link right there, the big long one. That's the right link for the live stream one. Click into that one.
Oh, y'all live right now, eh?
Yeah, but not this one. You gotta click into it. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying? You gotta click into the big. You see the big long one? That's it. All right. There it is.
Yeah, man. What buddy?
Okay. What's good, Just?
What's going on with it?
What's up, man?
Shit, chilling, man. About to go fishing for a little bit.
What's up, brother?
I don't know. What? I can't get into the link. You're
Uh,
saying off air.
Nah, yeah, I think you're clicking the wrong one. I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna resend you right now, right? I'm gonna what I just sent right now, and right in there. Click that, and you'll come right into it. Cause Justin's with me right now. We live right now. What's good, Justin?
What's going on with it, man? I'm riding with one of my old school partners. We were just here debating.
Oh man, I don't know what's going on. Hold on. We can't hear you, man.
Just trying to get the silent button on. You hear me now?
Okay, man, it's here.
Hey, I was just here telling my old school partner. He talking about some about the New Year, right? Please tell the man this is not the correct date for the New Year. Please tell him. Please tell him.
Oh, of course not. He who controls your calendar controls your perception of time. So yeah, it's
I'm
not.
trying to tell. I'm finna put him on with y'all. He driving. Y'all can see him. Can y'all see him? Can y'all see the man?
Yeah, greetings, brother.
That's old school right now, but he said he got something to tell y'all. He said he got something to tell y'all about the globe. He said the globe around there. He got something to tell y'all about New Year's and the calendar and everything else.
Okay.
He said dude just went all the way around the world in a plane yesterday. He said man went all the way around the world in the plane yesterday. He said it was on the news or something. Said a man went all the way around the plane from China.
If y'all think it's the world flat, I mean you can drive out the edge of the world.
Yeah, I'm over here, huh?
I'm just saying, if you say the world is flat, I mean we can't do it. You can't.
Okay.
Y'all heard him.
He said he can't do. He can't do what?
Y'all heard him.
Oh,
Y'all
my
heard
bad.
him. Y'all heard him.
How the hell I do that? Yeah. I couldn't hear exactly what he said though.
He said if the earth is flat, we can drive off the edge of the earth.
Hey, I used to use that argument against my mother and them, man. I used to use that same argument. Me and my youngest brother. You know, when my family used to tell me about it not being a perfect ball and stuff. Yeah, I mean, ice wall is simple until, just saying it until we can actually show people the ice wall, but...
What the ice wall? The ice wall. Ice ring.
So
yeah,
when you in New York, come in.
That's a simple rebuttal. That's why the Yorkites got a saying to the east, because they ain't going past Hawaii. The ones in California, I mean, or the ones that talk from the sense of California. Not a Mason, but I know a lot of them. They keep trying to recruit me. Hey, I don't know why. James. Okay. I don't know why. I was pushing the button, man.
My joints. Yeah, my joint's jacked. Cause I'll tell you that right now. I don't know what's going on, but I was trying to figure out something earlier, and I pressed the wrong button. So right now my laptop has no sound, but I mean I'm on my phone right now too.
No, unmute it.
I'm trying to figure this out right now.
Yeah, I did it by accident. I accidentally muted your the other one. I guess
nah, but if I unmute it, it's gonna sound crazy. Remember, you hear it?
Echo.
Watch.
Yeah, it's gonna echo.
Yo. Hold up real quick. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. It's not as bad,
Right
but it's
now?
still bad. And no matter what, it's gonna start echoing again. Yeah, see how
so
I'm
you can hear me right now.
making my voice low.
Okay, so that means my computer's working.
Mm-hmm.
My mic. Okay, I hear myself on the on the cell phone.
Yeah, that's why I'm not turning
But I
my
can't hear
laptop.
y'all
Yeah, we're probably real low.
on the
I have
computer.
to speak like this in order for you to hear me.
No, I'm saying like on my phone I can hear you, but on my computer I can't. It's a technical difficulty.
Oh, yeah, you have to close one. If you want to show videos, leave your
Try to
laptop
close
on.
this.
That's
Hold
echoing
on,
like
let me
crazy.
see. All right,
Y'all
so
look.
like right now I can't hear nobody. I just closed my phone. I'm gonna try to figure. I'm gonna try to fix this, but y'all.
We live. All right,
I'm gonna
all
do
right.
this online.
Can't. Gotta follow them rules I was taught. Can't let 5 seconds go by without something being heard. So let's see. The brother, elder. I definitely want to talk about that
Okay, I
calendar
see what
date.
you're saying. I see what you're typing. All right. I can't hear you though right now. Hold up.
You can't hear me?
Settings.
Let me see if I can show this. Yeah, I went and took all the little calendar count and all that good stuff out of the Egypt before the pharaohs, and I put it in one of my notepads. I wanted to get all 15, but I said I just want to capture the ones that are most important and don't have too much corruption behind it. So I only put 4 of the calendars in here. Uh, you know, my writing, I used to write good. I used to have my handwriting look real good and all that. That's whack. That's real whack.
There is a candle.
Okay. So then it's this then. No, you hit. Come here, baby.
Sing that song before I love it.
Yeah, my shit's tripping. Excuse my language. Okay, well, basically what I wanted to explain in the chat earlier was that you have 2 forms of these dating methods being used. And neither one of them is correct in saying that when you ask somebody from Egypt. So when it comes to those 2 dating methods, this is the problem. One of them is trying to line everything up in Egypt with biblical story. And that's called the biblical archaeologist. In 1860, Alliance Israelite Universally established Egypt as the center of education, and their aims are changing conditions of history. That's what they did. And they created artists and studios in Germany in the 19th century. I don't remember the exact date it was created. It's very difficult to find anything about them because they had basically had to cover it up because they were an institution that created fake artifacts. That's what they did. They wanted to make doubles of whatever they found and all this type of stuff, and went into plays and doing stuff as it went further and further into Hollywood with Charlie Chaplin and all that. They were the forms of Hollywood before that, and it's something that we're going to have to deal with. People altering artifacts and making fake artifacts and fake dig finds and, altering of bones and changing of hieroglyphs, taking monuments that are dilapidated, destroyed, mud brick, and then changing them up and forming them to make it match up with biblical stories. The ziggurat in Iraq, when you look at the black and whites of what the ziggurat in Iraq looked like, it looks nothing like it does. It looks nothing like it does today. They have completely altered the ziggurat during the times of Saddam Hussein when he got along with America in 82, I believe 1982. He received the key to Detroit in was that Michigan. He received the key to the city after he participated and agreed upon working with the Rothschilds and all the big time, Jewish families to, make these fake temples to match up biblical archaeologists and Oriental institutions or Orientalists perceived notions and what they're pushing. This is what they have done, and these are the things that we have to deal with, because as time goes on and we're given these fake dates and these fake artifacts, we are using them as if they are facts. And that means that everything beyond that point is going to continue on down with a trickle-down effect of lies. And eventually, you're just going to believe the lies because it's going to be told over and over and over again. So believing a lie doesn't become so far-fetched. But when you have people who have lineage and legacy, and I know it comes off as sacrilegious, but when you have a legacy passed down and you have lineage of information passed down, you have a little insight into certain things. Now, if your family participated in things that are connected to artifacts, history, writing, traveling by boat, then you're going to have a little insight on those specific things. My family and my insight, it just happens to be all four. So that's why I'm able to express without internet, without anything. So off the top of my head, best of my memory that I can remember of what I was told by family members. Then I can use the internet and find the stories that match up with my, what my ancestors said. My direct bloodline said, told an ancestor who told an ancestor who told my father who told me, told his father who told me, who told his mom who told me. So certain things about certain places around the world, especially Europe, I have great insight on. That stuff in Europe, those monuments, the real ones, not the fake ones like the Bosnian pyramid, that's a fake. Just so everyone knows that. That's not an ancient artifact. There is underground water flowing. That is true. Creating a lot of energy under it. That is very true. But that was not a pyramid. That is an altered thing. And you can see that they made it during some wars that were happening early Renaissance, during the Renaissance and stuff, when they were fighting against certain people. I'm not going to go into the details about it, about the story of that. But yeah, that's not a real pyramid. I forgot his name, the person who works on it. He got a lot of criticism from people from Egypt because they didn't want the Egyptian tours to be taken away and people going to Bosnia. That is also true. Yeah, so they did hate on it. They did become biased about the Bosnian pyramids. True. But what happened was Egyptologists actually went up there to study the Bosnian period, the pyramids, who are not biased, who were Eurocentric, who wanted to push this to be, yes, Europeans came first and Egypt comes second. They wanted to push that, and they were very disappointed to find out that the person working on the site made fake artifacts. The townspeople knew, the townspeople that lived there know exactly the stories about it. And they will tell you that it's far older than what they say. And they will say that most of the stuff, most of the things there that the person's claiming to be ancient are actually, new things. Some of them 100, 200 years ago, some of them 800, 900 years ago. Now, you can't really date stone. So what happens is this. When it comes to the wars that were taking place and the stories of account and black and white pictures from, the late 19th century and paintings, you're going to find certain things not looking the way it does today. So if you see something about Central America where it looks all nice and decorated like it does in Chichen Itza, that's not the way it looked 150 years ago. Not even 100 years ago. I think it was not even to the 1920s when they went in there and started altering stuff and rebuilding stuff, reshaping stuff, changing artifacts. I'm talking about Chichen Itza, and I've seen it for myself. That most of that stuff in Chichen Itza is redecorated, changed and altered. They did the same thing in Iran when they had that Shah stuff going on. They went in there and they worked with them to alter stuff. Same thing in Iraq with Saddam Hussein. When he started working with the U.S., they came in there and they altered and created the ziggurat. What's odd is they do that to all these other places, except for certain places, because they did the same thing in the Philippines. They altered the stuff, the Angkor Wat. They've altered all kind of artifacts around the world. That was one of their main objectives as artists and studios and the Alliance Israelite Universally. So I can give you the companies, I can give you the names of the people who created these fake artifacts, who went around altering history, changing the world to fit their, what they control, because that's what they said. They said anything ancient belongs to the Jews. Now, not all Jews. I like to be specific and name people. So it was a council of 30 people. And these 30 people went around changing everything. All right. Goldsmith had 10 children. Okay. 2 of his children were very, very key figures in dealing with Egypt and dealing with India. One of them created the authorized alphabet of the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, and that's Simeon Levy. He used Hebrew to translate it, and that was after the papal bull was put up by the Pope, Pope Cyril, connected to the Italians, the Orthodoxy. They did that. Then his brother, Salvain Levy, created the Hindu Book of the Dead. So I want people to get some insight that these people are not from these areas. They're working with created an organization called Alliance Israelite Universally, an institution where history was first brought in and taught, where they created the subject history. No university had a subject of history. They only studied the specific key figures in history's writings and what they wrote. They didn't put it all together and create timelines and matching up of these things. They didn't do that. That stuff is modern. That stuff does not happen until after 1660, establishment of Royal Society. Anything prior to that time, they don't put like definite dates. You know, they're saying names that people will tie into time periods. And then people later on take their notes and slap dates on them. I just released a video recently about the alphabets. And I could get into the 70 alphabets. I could get into the 7 shoot, let me go get that too. Let me get that notepad too. The 70 philosophers. Hold on, man.
Yeah.
All right, got my.
You there, bro?
Yeah, I'm there. You kind of low.
Word. It's working. Okay.
Okay. Good.
No,
Got you on
yeah.
loudspeaker.
I'm on my phone now because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to reopen this and see if it works, man. Because it's crazy.
Tripping. Okay, I'm looking at it right now. I want to show my note real quick. To show, I take this stuff very, very, very serious, man. You see that? I got all 67 of them, all right here. The alphabets. So I mean, we can't.
It's working now.
Perfect.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew. My bad. I just had to refresh the thing on my laptop. I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead, bro.
Perfect. I was just sharing some insight, on the. I don't want to call it conspiracy because it's just something they blatantly did. The Orientalists, how they've altered artifacts all around the world. If you see black and white pictures of stuff in South America, pertaining to Cusco, Peru, Machu Picchu, Olmecs further north, or even lost golden cities or any stuff like that they find, they alter a lot of the artifacts and stuff to fit a certain agenda, and many of the stuff in Chichen Itza, I had the privilege of going there one time, and a lot of that stuff has been altered and changed. I believe they started in the 1920s. I can't remember the exact dates, the people's names. If I had the books, my Time Life books, I can bust everything out. But during these periods, it's easy to look it up too. You just type in black and white pictures of Chichen Itza pyramids, or the specific name of the pyramids and all that type of stuff. You'll get it. And when you see the black and whites, you're gonna be mind blown. Like, wait a minute, it looks like a pile of just a mound, or it looks like dilapidated. It looks disfigured. It doesn't look the way it does today. They changed it up. Same thing with Stonehenge. Stonehenge didn't look like that. They went over there and they got cranes and stuff and showed you. Ramses, they didn't look like that. Ramses, they moved the whole part of a mountain like miles away. So that's showing you that they've been altering these things and changing stuff and flooding areas to hide, connections to stuff. They flooded ancient history in Egypt to cover up the biblical archaeological scam of having everything line up with the Bible. So they had to flood out the Matoki speaking people, the Nobin speaking people, and the Tubidawiyet speaking people. They had to flood those areas and get them out there because you can't keep lying to people. And then when they go to Central and Southern Egypt, they find out that everything that's being promoted about Egypt is a lie. Same thing in Iraq. Same thing in Iraq. If you meet any 70-year-old, 80-year-old Iraqis, which is very difficult to come across, they have that knowledge too. That, yeah, man, they'll tell you I was 8 years old helping them alter, monuments and megaliths. Well, they're not so much the megaliths, but the monuments. But I got to give China credit because they said, we're not letting you come in here and alter these pyramids. I got to give Russia credit because they said, we're not letting you come in here and alter our megaliths. I got to give those countries credit. Iran, when the U.S. worked with Iran, with the whole Shah and stuff, they went in there altering artifacts too. So it's a lot of ancient history that is being covered up to the point where I can't say how old anything is no more, because most of these dating methods are flawed, like carbon-14, which is thrown out. Scientists don't even use carbon-14 anymore. But publicly, it might say, in carbon-14 dating, it matches this date. But what they won't tell you is carbon-14 is going to have 5 dates aligned with it. The oldest, which is going to be a ridiculous date to their ideology thinking, or let me say this properly. According to their methodology in carbon-14, there's like 5, I forgot if it's 5 or 7 different dates that they come up with. They will always pick the date that matches their preconceived notion. And then, even if it doesn't match up perfectly, they're going to still alter that date, that the date that was given to by carbon-14 to match something. And this goes against Afrocentrics and Eurocentrics. So no centric is free from this. Not a single centric is free from this. It's simple as this. Why don't we let the people in Egypt, you got Aboriginal Egyptians, and then you have traditional indigenous Egyptians. Let's let them say what is what dates are where, and what is it. And that's why I showed those pictures in the other hangout and said, look up the Aterian civilization. Look up these names. Aterian is a made-up name too. But all the other names are names that are coming from the languages of the people that live there, that gave their account of their history. And that's the whole key point right here, man. I'm not going to go to Japan and meet somebody that's from Scotland and get the history of Japan from someone from Scotland. I'm going to go to the Japanese and get the story of Japan from a Japanese, from a Chinese, from a Filipino, from a Taiwan, from a North Korean. From Russian. I'm not going to go to a person that's not of the people. I'm just not going to do it. Personally, I started out studying Native American history when I first started my journey into researching history of the world. I started off with researching history of myself. So that becomes more sacrilegious and personal. But then when I started finding all the books saying certain things, I came across a lot of lies. So where at first I challenged my own family and said, they're lying. You guys are lying. So later on in my life, when the internet and everything comes into play and I'm able to use this technology, I find that the information today is backed by what I said earlier, a lie that continued and carried on to the point that it's accepted as a fact. and everybody repeats it and regurgitates it to where it's accepted. And it makes it complicated for someone like me. No, you can't say that, or nah, that's not true. But I'll say this. We need to start researching these things ourselves. The other brother left, but we need to really start looking into these things ourselves and doing some more in-depth research. My key thing too, because I really wanted to share this. That's why I was excited when said we finna get the bill going. I really have been waiting to share this information because I've only been able to talk to people from Egypt about this, people in their 80s and stuff about this. And that's why I always refer people to Walter Williams. Don't listen to any of the Afrocentrics. Just go to Walter Williams. Walter Williams is going to give you his account. His family members had money. He's a millionaire. His wife is a millionaire. He's not trying to be bought. He ain't trying to sell out. He's in his 80s. He's in the end of his time. He does not care. He's traveled around the world over and over. He's traveled with archaeologists. He's talked to indigenous people of these places. He has the pictures and stuff. He also is one of the first African Americans to have an Egyptian exhibit. That means that he went to Egypt, bought artifacts, brought the artifacts back to America, and created an actual museum. Very interesting. He also was a curator in Illinois as well. So this is a person who's been absolutely, basically ignored. Another person absolutely ignored who's finally getting some, some type of respect is Anthony T. Broader. My elder has worked on 2 digs with Anthony T. Broader, and I've shared with all the family images. I wish I could share the actual video footage, but I've shared the pictures of my elder. Most people don't know when I say the Baba Patah, but anyway, as he worked out there with the people, asking them information, getting the story from them, not an Egyptologist, not an archaeologist, not a paleontologist, but going straight to the people. So, and that's why I talk about alternative data, empirical data, getting it from the origin and the source, and not getting it from secondary, but keeping the secondary in mind. Keep the secondary in mind, but always go for the source, go for the origin, go for the empirical data, do empirical research. And empirical research, man, of the dating methods, things just don't add up. I got so much more to talk about this, but I produced a video called Zeptepi Saro. Yeah, I forget the title of the video at the moment, but I produced this video where I'm showing out of Michael Hoffman, yes, a Jew, who produced a book, who knew that the other Jews created fake history, altered monuments, and all kind of stuff, and he put it in this book. So they downplay this book. You could buy it for like $2 now. They downplay his book, and that book is an archaeologist's dream. Anybody doing research into ancient history that's connected to anything with ancient civilization, it's their dream book. I have not had complaints from anybody, even Hebrew Israelites, the black Hebrew Israelites, the white Jews. Everybody use it. They removed the whole centric bias bigotry from it and just said, no, we're just going to give you the data. And that's why I respect it. And that's why I use it to this day. So when it comes to dating, which is really what this is about, people always say something's older than Egypt. Then you get the Afrocentrics that saying, well, Sudan and Ethiopia and Kenya predate Egypt, and the whole 360 degrees of clandestine, pseudo information. So it makes it difficult for someone to come straight down the line and say, this indigenous person here from this specific clan said this. It makes it difficult because now you got to take in 3 forms of data. 1, the data they want you to know. 2, the data that goes against what they want you to know, which creates that the Afrocentrics create. And then you have what the people say that live there. So when it comes to these calendar dating, you have these different forms of dating that most people don't know about. We only know about carbon-14 and potassium argon or thermo whatever they want to call that word. Slips my mind at the moment. But they won't tell you straight up the Arturian story. They won't tell you the Arturian story. They're not going to tell you the Armat story, the Isawiya story, the Quena, the Dandara, the Abba, the Makarama. They're not going to tell you these stories because it's going to go against biblical archaeology. It's going to start you at 20 million BC. And you're going to say, how does it start at 20 million BC? But get this. This is where you get the biblical archaeologists. And this is why in 2013 and 2014, Black Lotus civilization received the type of attention that we got. Is because we said we're going to read this information without bigotry, no biases. That means we're going to read the information. Whether we believe it or not, we're just going to read the information and share it. So what happens is this. When people make this comment that spirituality does not come out of Egypt, I agree with it. Many people won't agree with it, and they're going to give you a whole group of centric, Afrocentric stuff and Pan-African stuff. And, yeah, we created Yoruba voodoo and all this other stuff. Ain't got nothing to do with Egypt. That I agree with. But when it comes to the writing, spirituality being written, that has no other origin. It has no other origin but Egypt. Here goes the two sides of that. Papyrus are fake, so we can throw papyrus out of the wall. They've altered so many Oriental institution. They go, I believe, 2 to 4 times a year and work on a tomb or a temple or whatever has been found, and they repaint it. Often they have somebody shave the wall down and repaint it. Polypossesses, they shave it down and you can still make out what's behind it. Okay, fair enough. But in Egyptology, polypossess is when they shave the wall, put some clay on top of it, and rewrite it. Now, I just said papyrus are fake, but a lot of people base a lot of stuff on papyrus. So that a lot of people will say, oh, he's just using that word. He just throws everything out that you say. No, this is what the people in Egypt told me. Papyrus are fake. You put papyrus in water for 3 days, it's going to look like it's 4,000 years old. You could just look it up on YouTube, and the lady shows you the video. It just so happens I met the lady before, and I know her family. So I got the insight from them about making fake papyrus, and nobody will tell you this. Nobody will tell you the Narmer palette is fake. Nobody will tell you the Canopus stone is fake. Nobody will tell you the Rosetta stone is fake. Nobody will tell you that Akhenon's Armana is fake. Nobody will tell you that the Stela and the writings with the proof that Israelites lived in Egypt is fake. Nobody will tell you that they went and altered stuff, that pyramids had no writings in them. So what are these pyramid texts? They came into these places and they carved in stone. But people won't believe it because then I'm taking their power away from them to say. And that's why I've had a lot of arguments with my Pan-African Afrocentric brothers on this specific topic, because I'm telling them, man, they altered that. And they'll say, are you saying Europeans created the hieroglyphs? No, I'm telling you that the Europeans came into places and they altered the hieroglyphs. The hieroglyphs that were not clear, shaved down and rewrote them. There's video evidence on my channel showing the people literally chiseling off hieroglyphs and recarving them. They stopped recarving them. You know what they do now? They just draw it in. They paint it in. They don't even put the effort of carving it in stone anymore. They said, forget that. We're just going to draw and outline it. So a person named Ashra Kwesi, who's a person I suggest no one ever trust or believe, who supports the biblical archaeologist. That's why he takes people there and saying, look, this is where the Bible got this from. This is where the Bible got this from. And then you have me telling you that no. They went into those temples and changed and altered these things. They remove walls. They take ceilings. They took a whole ceiling from, I believe, Dendara that showed a rectangle showing a flat, what they would say is the sky, and came and replaced it with a circular one. But the Pashas caught the French as they tried to leave with that stela. So there's a lot of things that we have to take into account about Egyptomania, the making of fake artifacts, the stealing of original artifacts, so nobody else can see it, because they want to work on what this hieroglyph is really saying. They want to figure it out, and they can't. They can't figure out.
Josh has a question. Josh has a question, man. Josh said, but weren't most people, he said, but weren't most things defaced off pyramids for the value?
I didn't get that. Defaced? You said based off of pyramids for value?
No, he said, but weren't most things defaced off pyramids for the value?
Trying to understand the question. Like they went in, okay, where the blowing off the noses and stuff like that. Is that what he's referring to? Yeah, a lot of that happened.
I think so.
They also, yeah, they do that. They do that. They alter a lot of stuff, and they make fake busts too. Europeans have been making fake busts for about 160 years. That's how long they have been making these fake busts. They did it in Greek first. So yeah, they alter the noses, they make fake busts and all kind of stuff. Yeah, they do that. The Oriental Institution or Orientalists, you know, that's what they do. And if you just type it in, Orientalists in Egypt painting hieroglyphs, you're going to get an image showing them with the paint brushes and everything, repainting the whole thing. That's one thing. But the disfiguring, blowing the noses off of stuff, where they blowing the Sphinx nose off, you know, there's a whole story behind that. You get a lot of Eurocentrics that'll say, no, that's not really what happened, that weather and conditions cause the noses to fall off. You know, that's how far centricism, you know, how bad it is on both sides. But yeah, they defaced a lot of stuff, man. Defaced it, you know, cut heads off. Some heads are completely cut off. They got some stuff that, you know, the older it is, they really destroy it. If something is real old and doesn't fit the biblical archaeological, you know, agenda, we might never see it. And that's literally what happened. That's Zahi Hawass was in jail. They raided all of northern Egypt. I'm talking about west of the Nile, taking artifacts out they didn't want us to know about. So yeah, it is true. Yeah, they disfigured and altered stuff. They've also created fake ones too. Like if you look all throughout.
No, I was saying, because I'm glad you touched. I just been sitting back and letting you go in, because my cousin was on the show last night or this morning, and this is what we was talking about. I wish you was on. I mean, I know you was there, but you wasn't there. You was there for a little bit, but
yeah, I had to go.
The thing I was trying to explain to him about how, like, not all the information given to you even back then was accurate, because they needed to control the masses even back then. And the only way to do that was through lies and manipulation, just the same way they do it right now. That's the reason why the elite glorify Egypt and the pharaohs, because they knew that they're doing exactly the same thing that they're doing today.
Yeah, the AIU.
I mean, like,
yeah, that's complicated. Sorry, oh no, that's complicated. I'll give two sides. I'll give two sides to that. Here goes one. When it comes to ancient Egypt, the ancient Egyptians never wrote a history of themselves. That's the complicated part. The other part is, if I go along with the historical documents, it's always going to line up with the Bible, no matter what. When it comes to the wickedness of the Pharaoh,
right, because
that's Exodus.
That's what they gave you, right?
That's right. So no matter what, we're going to look at ancient Egypt. You know what's funny? In ancient Egypt, they say, yeah, they did those things to the people, right? When you go to Aztecs and Incas, guess what they say there? Same thing. Oh, yeah, they were taking their hearts out and worshiping Quetzalcoatl and waiting for the coming of Kukulkan. So they're killing people whenever there's a eclipse from Mel Gibson's movie and stuff, you know? Same thing there. They're going to say the same thing there. The people in power came and took over the regular people. And after a while, you're going to say to yourself, like, there's no way that all these ancient artifacts and all these ancient civilizations come by barbarism, because that's basically what that is. That's some barbaric stuff. That means the people who had the mind and intelligence to make these ancient artifacts were crazy as hell, sadistic, feeling like everybody's beneath them and ruling. But I'll say this, you know, for a sake, that the people who built ancient Egypt did not do those things. The people who ruled it later on, yes, and worse. Hell, I've heard some horrible things that, you know, some very horrible things that'll blow your mind. I put it in some of my videos. So there's you know, the people who created it, no, they didn't do those things. I can't say they did it. The people who made the pyramids, no. Khufu, Khafre, and all that, people never existed, man. They never wrote history of themselves. They never existed. But people later on taking over, horrible atrocities, man, beyond belief. Murderings of lots of thousands of people used to be subjected, you know. That happened consistently. It's happening in Egypt today. It's happening in Libya, Egypt right now. So yeah, that it happened. But what I found is that the people who made ancient Egypt did not do those things. We don't know exactly what they did. Now we can speculate and say they had a whole bunch of slaves, but then I could tell you what Uncle Dookie told me way in Australia. I could tell you what Olo Weir told me in South Sudan, and my Luo buddies told me that they were masters of moving stone like water. Now, Egyptologists know that. So what Egyptologists said, they created a pseudo story about floating stone down the river and all kind of stuff, and being dragged from the river to a place. But if you go look up Belzoni the Great, how long it takes for someone to really drag a stone, I'm talking about, I don't even think he could drag it a mile in a span of 4 days. He had to figure out a way to get the bust, the giant head of Ramses, to the boat on the Nile River. So, I mean, kind of lost my little place. Hold on. So, when it comes to the way the stuff is made, the way the ancient megaliths are made, let's look at it like this. There's some problems you're going to find. Here it goes. The Eurocentric and Afrocentric side. The Afrocentric is going to say, our ancient Egyptians were the greatest people ever. We come from kings, you know, that's what's going to happen. That's what you're going to get from them. And it's going to go on the lines of this. They were so smart that they could move tons of stone blocks all the way down to the pyramids from the quarries. And the Eurocentric is going to say the same thing. But he's going to say that when they got it to the Nile, they used black slaves, Nubians, to take it and build the pyramid. But today I'm going to share this with you, that they moved stone like water. Now, when it comes to this, the only person that has made it public, a video that I have posted on my channel, was Uncle Dookie. And Uncle Dookie said out of his own words, I know the word sounds funky, it sounds like you're on the toilet, but out of his own words, he said all the way in Australia that they made temples using volcanoes. I've heard that from people in the Nile Valley. I've heard that from people in Egypt today. I've heard that from people in Sudan. The Luo people still use volcanoes for their stuff. The Haya tribe in Kenya followed and observed the 5 elder clans and saw the way that they use the technology. So then they themselves started doing it too. And what they did was they get the intestine of an animal, they put it around some type of funnel that they create, hollowing out a tree or something. Forgot the whole details to it. And they find a hollowed out ant hill, a hollowed out termite hill. They use it from what's naturally produced from the insects. And they get, I believe, 6. I only can use 4. And they sing, they chant, and they dance, and they push down on that intestine pouch that's blowing air into the into a little area that's enclosed that's made of either an anthill or a termite hill, and they can put minerals in there and melt the minerals and make things with it. In Chad, they have mastered this. South of Libya, they have mastered these things. But when it comes to Luo, they still use finding molten rocks for everything. They'll get molten rocks, put it in the house, and keep the house warm at night. They will get some molten rocks and put it in front of the house. And they will keep gathering it and keep fanning it and keeping it warm and keeping it going to keep the animals warm at night. This is a Luo traditional practice. When you talk to them about, okay, you're doing this, how does stone move like water? And that's when they break down lava. And that's when they give the not the science, I'm gonna use that word for it, but what people call science to how you mold things. You know, they tell you about the importance of mud brick, that you can form mud brick. Look, okay, I'll give it to you like this. You form a mud brick into the shape of a bottom of a pyramid. How is the mineral, the bottom of the pyramid, which is very hard, but it's alabaster or another one, become turn to a form of water, which means basically down to a boiling point where it can move as like liquid in a viscous form. You pour it into the mold. We use that same technology today.
That's true.
It's just that we use cement and other things. So, and I've been in construction. So when I saw that this is what we do, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Let me get on the phone with my friend in Egypt. Hey, bro, what's up with this? And guess what he told me? That those so-called lines in those temples and pyramids that you can't fit a pen or a paper through because it's so small, it's because they were cutting that into it. The pyramid being all those stone blocks, because they were cutting the blocks out of the pyramid, making their way up the pyramid, consistently cutting the blocks out and making mosques and making homes and stuff.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Just the same way they do like any other sculpture. It's the same thing. Right. It's just lines. It's not literally blocks like they say. The reason why they're so fine is because even they say, oh, they use laser point precision. Like,
see,
they use the laser.
Exactly, they trick you. But when you go see the megaliths in Russia, all one solid piece. When you go see the megaliths in Peru, when the people there, and that's what happens because the people there said, no, we're not going to let you alter these. You're going to see solid pieces, giant pieces. And then when you go to Egypt, you're going to say, where are they? You got to find them. And when you find them, that's when the light bulb is going to click. Whoa, wait a minute. This whole wall is one piece. Like this whole wall, one piece for, how?
That goes back to what I was trying to tell my cousin, bro. Like, you can't just say that because of certain properties that one pyramid has in a different region than another, because one is more advanced than the other. That's going to determine the dates, because you can't because you can still make pyramids with older technology in a new time. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way to date or put a date or put a, you could say, oh yeah, everything originates from Egypt, but I just feel like
it doesn't.
Exactly. I just feel like it doesn't, and we'll never really understand where, because like if you, like you were trying to say, like, okay, like he doesn't know anything about the other. Now this is not a personal shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's a general. Like he's saying he doesn't know anything about the other pyramids that exist. And my whole point was that any person, regardless of who you are, if you are going to say that the pyramids in Egypt are clear evidence that that's where the origins of pyramid building started, but then you can't explain the origins of the others and you just want to completely ignore the others, that also that automatically gives merit to say that
Yep.
The pyramids in Egypt basically aren't what you think they are. You know, because you have to study everything. And then, like I was saying, well, what about the ones under the water? He was like, well, what about the ones under the water? Well, we got to think about, well,
Exactly.
how did they get underwater in the first place? Well, over time, right? And we all know what happens over time, like with sea levels and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna take some time for that pyramid to be submerged underwater. Now, I don't know how many years. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm have the eyes of God and I can tell you it takes 3,000 years for something to completely be submerged. But the whole point is that it's going to take a long time. And from what I know, is that the pyramids that are in Egypt are above water. So even if they
Oh, I agree.
like the whole tricky part about it is like I'm not even I can't even I'm kind of like sound like I'm contradicting myself right now because I'm saying that the ones in the water are older than the ones above the water, but you can't even say that because something dramatic might have even happened and then it just got completely submerged, from like a catastrophic event, a natural catastrophic event, but they were both made at the same time. But now it only seems like one is older than the other because one is in the water and one is not. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying it sounds so it's so tricky. But
Yeah, it is.
most people would want to say that the pyramid under the water is older than the pyramid above the water. But like I said, it's tricky. You can't really say that. You can't really say one is older than the other. You don't know where the origins came from. That's why I like flat Earth, and I feel like flat Earth frees you because you think about okay, when we talk about how everything was done at the same time and we're all was created at the same time, right? And you think about like all the pyramids and traveling. When you travel, how to travel, like, okay, so how are these ideas traveling, along the years? And you feel me? Like, it just doesn't make sense. You would need planes and boats and all types of stuff. And I just feel like if people are too busy building uh, stat pyramids and working on their societies and stuff, they don't have time really to be traveling like you think it is. Like from the very beginning, like especially in the building stages, because he was talking about like the origin stuff, like so it would have to have happened at the same time if we have the same thing, because like people would eventually like change up design plans, and you would see like the patterns would be different. Like you would see a specific pattern and like, okay, like there's different pyramids and different shapes all over the world. But if it started from somewhere, a point of origin, you wouldn't see that. You would see a specific pyramid in one area where it's obviously like the most suckiest, and everything around it would be the same. And then you would go to a new area or new region and you will see that the pyramids got a little bit better. And that would be the only way you can sit there and say that, we can use these pyramids to date back on how old, civilization began, but you can't do that because there's all types, there's all types of pyramids everywhere with different types of advances. You know what I'm saying? And even the ones underwater too. Some of the ones under the water look better than the ones above. So, like, it all goes back to the Earth being flat and everything starting at one point. At the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's why I can't rock with the whole. Yeah, exactly. That's why I can't rock with the whole Egypt. Everything started in Egypt and because like you don't even know like if Egypt is even a real, like what if the concepts in Egypt just came from those concepts that we see under the ground. I mean under the water. Like what if they just built everything? Like I know you said like, oh, the original use was like, it wasn't like in a negative sense or whatever. It was used for the good of people. But what if it wasn't, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, nobody really knows. And what if they was placed there to to act like that was the original place. You know what I'm saying? And what if the other pyramids was flooded purposely? You know what I'm saying? In order to recreate something that they already tried to do before. And what if pyramids actually means nothing? Because when you think about flat Earth, right? When you think about like going past the ice ring and stuff and like going to see new land and be with new people, like, okay, what if this place was a jail from the beginning, and the pyramids was just like the basic structures that everyone knew how to build, but they was just building structures for people just because, but it really didn't have no real like you know huge meaning like everyone thinks it does. It's just something that was built for this land. Because if we're in a dome structure and we can't like leave, there's ice rings around it, right? It's obviously meant for us to stay here, like at a time when we had no technology or anything to help us, get ever past the ice lands to the new continents. So if whoever built this, right, if this was built, they knew that we wouldn't be able to leave for a long time. You know what I mean? And they built it that way. So then you think about the pyramids. Okay, well, why the pyramids exist then, right? Like, okay, well, think about the origins. Well, what if they came here, built a whole bunch of pyramids, just to get people to believe in something greater than themselves? Because when you look at the pyramid, it's something that's like, all right, statues, here it is, ready? All right, statues, everything that has like some type of ideology on it. Back in the ancient days, that was like the celebrity back then. So like you go to like a church or a mosque or like see a great statue and you're in awe. That's like watching a movie. You know what I'm saying? It's like watching a movie today, or it's like listening to music today. When you look at a huge statue, you're like wondering how they built it. You're like you never really seen some stuff like that. Think about it. This is the time when it was like brand new. You know what I mean? So what if they flooded the old pyramids and recreated new pyramids on purpose? You know what I'm saying? And like, my cousin was saying earlier, Egypt was the scholar, the school, a school of Mecca, like where everyone went to go learn stuff or whatever, right? Even if that was true, right? What if that was? It goes back to my theory, like, okay, well, yeah, they might have, rebuilt pyramids in a certain area, and then like tried to, give all these ideas to enslave the masses, and everybody who wanted to be educated went to Egypt, or what is called Egypt today, to get indoctrinated, but they didn't know they was being indoctrinated, and then that's how everything spread. Like all the different ideologies. What if it all came from there on purpose, right? And what if the pyramids were built on purpose in order to leave people in awe, to give these people who are given the deception the credibility through the influence of the pyramids and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like Masons, because right, Masons was like basically the most, like the people who built all this stuff was like in charge. You know what I'm saying? They basically had the power, because if you when you're into infrastructure, the people who know how to make the infrastructure have the most power, because without them you can't do anything. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. Like, I'm just trying to understand like things on a whole nother level, like on a flat, because if we're talking about flat earth and we're flat earthers and we talk about the ice rings and shit, we got to try to like connect it. You know what I'm saying? Connect everything together. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like when you talk about, maybe there was a time when people used it for the good, or what if there wasn't a time with that? You know what I mean? Because of the ones that are already under who's this? There are already ones that's underneath the ocean. And what if that was just like an error, trial and error? Like, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, actually, 90% of the Egyptian pyramids today were covered with water, marshland, sand, and dirt. So yeah, most of them actually, they weren't even uncovered until Belzoni the Great. When it gets to the pyramids in the ocean, you have them along the Bermuda. You have some all through those areas. I haven't really done too much other than, going off of what, the aquanauts, have showed with the pictures and stuff and what they say. That's somewhat true, but when it comes to like knowledge and coming from certain places, Hagia Sophia holds it down. Hagia Sophia, hands down, was the real learning center, and the place is still up. It's still up and running. Everyone look that up, please. Hagia Sophia. That's where a lot of the writings, the indoctrinations, to say that we follow today, a lot of them spawn out of Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia is located in Turkey. A lot of people don't want, they don't want you really to know about Hagia Sophia and Hagia Sophia's sister institutes. I believe it's 2 along the coast of Turkey and 3 of them in Greece. I have to go through my information to go show the originals, but these are the places where bathing, properly cleaning, hygiene, the writings of that, and the actual pools and stuff where it was being done. This is where it was established. Animal husbandry, marriage between man and woman. A lot of these things are being established out of Hagia Sophia. So when people say that they try and give Egypt the credit for like the indoctrination of today, they're really misleading. They're not telling you that, no, it's actually Hagia Sophia. So when it comes to Egypt, in the history of Egypt, you got to throw it all away. When it comes to pertaining to our lifestyle and the things that affect us today, we got to deal with Hagia Sophia. On the pyramids, the content of minerals in the pyramids and the importance it is, that's very important. A lot of Egypt is layered with quartz crystals. The minerals used in our cell phones and our computers and stuff are all around Egypt. But only specific pyramids have that certain mineral content that can create some type of energy. A lot of the other ones, they don't do that. So you're absolutely correct about it. Like, what are all these other ones? It's almost like somebody got carried away and just, let's just start making pyramids everywhere. And that is absolutely true.
Bro, it's just like guys or the globe model. Think about it, man. It's the same concept, man. Guys, right? They literally copy and paste clouds. Don't care. Okay, it's like they want you to figure it out. Just saying, like, what presented those clouds back in, like, and they just got careless. You know what I mean? At first, it was like, they did all these properties, but like the trees, they said that the ancient trees were chopped down. You know what I mean? They say that and why would they be chopped down? You know what I mean? That, and then here's my thing. Ready? We have a lot of great things right now, like Wi-Fi, right? Exactly. But it's hard, or it's bad for you. Food, that's good, but it's bad for you. There's all types of things that are wonderful. You know what I'm saying? All types of medicines, things that have helped people. But in the end, it's not really the best for you, because there's all types of, different medicines that you can get to treat. Because when you go back to nature, they can cure.
Right.
Gave us these pyramids because, yeah, they did do great things, but yes, it means nothing to somebody who lives outside of that, because some things to sustain, because we're testing you, we're seeing, what you do with this land. We're seeing, you know what I mean? Like, it goes back into, it's so complicated around it. Like, I'm trying to tell you something. This is not nothing that is concrete. This is just me. This is literally us building right now, and me, like, off the top, like, trying to figure this out, right? Like, I just feel like the deception has all the fact that we are in an in-cave position, and we're trapped almost, in a sense. And if it was made a long time ago, then it was definitely made to keep us here for within this. The agenda was given from the very beginning, you know, and that was the whole reason of the flat Earth model. Like we're over here talking, yeah, the Earth's flat, blah 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 blah, right? Low model entraps you with and all that. But what if, like, you know, the Earth being flat is like this? You know, I say ignorance is bliss, right? But what if the flat Earth model, like, yeah, it does free your mind. You get to know what's going on. But what if it from the very beginning, like, didn't even matter because is that like we're being here, we're in a dome-like structure, we're built. You know what I mean? Like
no matter what we hear,
and that's exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like the ice wings were built, and the dome is there. You know what I'm saying? They've done. I will burst up with this confidence and stuff like. There was a time where there was other outside influence, you know, guarded the rings just like they guard today. You know, and these outside influences live well beyond the gates, but they use the people here to keep people there because they give them the most nice things. Now, that's why I'm saying, what if the pyramids were bullshit from the very beginning? Build these pyramids build these civilizations for charge. You don't ever want people to come over here and fuck up our shit because like maybe they live in peace and harmony, and the only way to live it they understand that to be, you know, trade and all this stuff. Put it into one section and fool the people, you know, enough to leave and come and fuck up our shit. You know, like what?
You know what's funny?
Like because you kind of think like
that's literally what I was saying earlier. They went around the whole planet. It was the Royal Geographical Society. They went around the whole planet, taking places that are monuments and shaping them into pyramids. In South America, you'll find pyramid mounds, and they were like, "Look, South America has more pyramids than the whole world combined." Did that. That's why I was specifically saying about that one pyramid that has those certain minerals on it. These things conduct electricity. These things produce energy. But the other ones is like, what the hell are they there for? A key thing is this.
Right.
I'm only talking about specific pyramid when it comes to the pyramid. The pyramid, the one in Giza, the middle one, right? Okay, they blew holes into it in order to enter the pyramid. The entrance into the pyramid is through the bottom, not the top, not anywhere on the top. So this is something that was built not for anybody to go inside.
Right, just to spectate, to be at all, just to be at all, just to be
energy. It's like a dam. You know how a dam generates energy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same thing. That's, you know,
yeah.
That's just that one pyramid. Other pyramids, I don't know what the hell was going on, but that one I know.
Right, and I just feel like those pyramids represented the celebrity of today. And think about like how George Washington was really King George. Those people who are idolized could also represent the ancient time. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, what if these great pyramids at one point were so worshipped and they idolized at one point that they literally energy, a harness energy, so they build all these fake ones to worship them, just like religion. Okay, you get one seems to work, and then now because everybody worship, know what I'm saying, that form of worship. Okay? And that was the whole point of this type of people with these type of energy in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Because of that ego, and to control the ego in a sense and suppress the ego, but physically, like literally, like keep everybody with that big mentality over there. Like, it's nature. Like, it has to happen, right? So like saying like, okay, we're gonna make our own society, and everyone in that society is going to be strictly made nice, and like they're going to be educated, and we're going to keep it under like 100,000 or whatever, like and something easy. But the rest of society is going to just like, okay, people procreate, 1 + 1 = 2, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. But the only thing you can do is to put everyone into one place. Like, how many times you hear about the idea, well, let's just put all the murderers on one island and let them kill themselves? That, like, the average person. Isn't that, I mean, is that, or is that not an idea of the average person? I feel like it is, and I think the same way. I want to see like chaos happen. I'll say that. Oh, let's put them all on one island and let them kill themselves. That's the type of thinking that like could go back as far as the ancient times. I don't know. I understand why these rings would be guarded. Why every to go and cultivate their new land.
Oh yeah, I'm here. You were kind of breaking up. You were clear most of it, but you were breaking up a little. I couldn't tell when you stopped. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them. People worship Egypt. Egyptomania. The whole world worship pyramids during Egyptomania so much that they went to war. It's called Battle of the Pyramids. Wow. like literally. It's called. If I show it to you, you're gonna laugh. Yeah, they went crazy over it.
So it's like, man. So it's like we really gotta try to understand things on a whole new level. Like my cousin was talking about, all the information comes out of it. Like, yo, fuck Egypt, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's stop talking. Let's try to understand things in a whole new light.
Planetary.
Yeah.
That's why we created a group called Aboriginal.
Right.
Unapologetically Aboriginal. That's why we created that. Black Globe Civilization. We got people all around the world. People, they just can't let go of Egypt. Most people can't. I happen to have an ancestor that's directly from Egypt, Margaret Frantra, who married Philander Snelling Hood. So I have like actual Egyptian ancestry in me. And when it comes to talking to people in Egypt, they don't even give a damn about the shit in Egypt like people do in America. They don't wear ankhs. They don't care. They're not walking around saying Mad Hotep. They don't give a damn about that stuff in Egypt. That's what makes it crazy. That they don't even care about it in Egypt today.
You know what? It tickles me, right? Here's what tickles me. Ready? Mm-hmm. And it tickles me. It makes me laugh, but it makes me sad. But the most thing it does is it pisses me off because it's just like we're taking too long. But there's a lot of people that the Black conscious community reaches out to, thousands of people. My thing is like, why don't these people ever understand how? Okay, internet is everywhere. You can have internet anywhere. Why aren't these people going back to Africa? They get all these donations, all this money from all their viewers, but they don't ever go back to Africa. They don't ever just go back to live there or go back or try to take a lot of their viewers back with them. They stay in America. They pay the taxes and they and they do the things that the white man that they talk about want them to do. They don't ever bring things back to to nature. They don't ever bring things back to the way they need to be. Like the only one who tried to do something and was fraud as fuck was Nature Boy. You know, but he didn't even go all the way to Africa. He went somewhere else.
Can I have you for 2 seconds?
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't you? I mean, as a viewer, somebody who following the Black conscious community, talking about, you know, everything out of Africa, out of Kemet, or what? Don't you think that those who speak on that should be living there, especially if they're receiving donations?
I absolutely agree. I know. Brother James Smalls. He owns a hotel in Ghana, but he lives in America. I don't get it. And that's one of the head elder figures. You got a lot of the Pan-African Afrocentric groups living in. There's more in America yelling Black Power in Africa, this tribe, than the people actually in the tribe that they're talking about. And when you go talk to the Africans, like the Yoruba, majority of, you're not going to find too many Yoruba people walking around talking all this. I pray to the Orisha and this and that and the third. Most of them going to be Christian. So it's like it will make this, maybe that could be the ultimate reason why, because they're not accepted too. Reggie went to Ghana, they called him Baruni, a foreigner. You go to Egypt, they're gonna call you Gerbenda. So it's like they're representing something that they are not. And then they're in America. This is the real slap in the face about it. At the same time, they go and out there like, we're all Africans. We came out of Africa. But then when they go to the tribe, they're not going to accept them like that. You know, that's why I don't get my information about Africa from African Americans. You know, because it's pointless. Even if they move to Africa, there was a one, I'm going to really put something out right now. Kamal Kambon. I'm going to say something. Kamal Kambon, he was on C-SPAN 2 saying we need to exterminate all white people. He said that's the problem with the planet today is white folks. We need to exterminate all white folks, and that he's leaving America. He's not going to participate in America no more, and he's moving to Africa. When he got to Africa, guess who we had to deal with?
The white folks. Yeah. Yeah.
Guess who they're in pictures with? A white man. So it's like it's some hypocrisy behind a lot of it, and it's a facade. You know, instead of claiming here in America and grabbing onto what we got here, you're gonna latch on to a land that you know damn well when you go there you are not from that tribe. Hey, my DNA is 67% your tribe. They're gonna be like, you don't know what the hell they're saying.
Right.
You're like, who the hell is this person? You don't know who this person. Who's your mom? Who's your dad?
Right. Oh, we're all family here. Cole, they're speaking English, bro. They'll shoot your ass. I mean, they'll spear your ass.
Exactly.
You try like late at night, like trying to get food and water and speaking English, they'll think you're fucking evil as shit.
Man, you're gonna run into someone that's gonna try and rape and kill you.
Not only that. The thing about all this, right, is that like I feel like, okay, you just mentioned about those tribes that speak that language. Now, they're obviously grounded. And what I mean by grounded, I mean like walk barefoot every day, sleep in the grass, you know, eat
one with nature.
Yes. Those are the people that you need to be talking to about how to be one with the plant and what's really going on. You know, the problem with us is we don't speak that language. Simple as that.
That's right.
We're not in those regions. We are here, and we're doing the best we can. You know, that's the reason why we stream and we're online trying to reach out to people, because most people around us, wherever we are, we're surrounded by a bunch of people who are indoctrinated to the max, and they are like full-fledged and slaves, and they're willing to be, and they don't want to change. And that's a scary thing. It's a threat, because whenever you come around speaking what you know to be the truth, you get all types of backlash from people, and there's no support, and it's a scary thing. And so that's why, like, a lot of these people. That's why I say I get upset with a lot of these people, because they sit there and they support these people who obviously are living in New York, paying taxes, and if they're making money on YouTube, um, they're definitely supporting the Jewish Zionist Jew agenda, because we already know that they're the ones who control this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Basically, like, accepting donations, you're making YouTube money. You know, um, you're anybody who's selling any type of products in America, shipping anything in America, doing any type of event and charging hard-earned American dollars for that lecture is supporting the white man. You cannot throw a lecture. This is what I say. This is why I get pissed, right? Because, like, people go, oh, come out to my lecture, and the tickets be like $20, $30, right? And it's like, okay, these tickets are $20, $30 for these tickets. So I'm paying $30 to be told that I shouldn't pay $30 for shit. Think about it. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because they say, oh, we need to break away from this system. We need to break away from this country, go back to our motherland and be one again. But at the same time, I need your money because I got rent due too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's basically hypocrisy, nigga, because your ass should be broke as shit living with the people you speak with. Okay?
That's right.
Okay? You shouldn't have any types of form of currency on you at any time. Maybe, like, I don't know, a couple bucks to get some water or something if you need it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, I'm talking about like a bank account, and nigga, that should not. If you're gonna have cash, okay, whatever. That's something tangible, whatever. But a bank account, entrusting your money with, like, becoming electrical, inside trusting a government that's ran by the same person you talk about every day. Yep. Come on, man. Come on, man. The whole act of putting money in PayPal is supporting the agenda.
That's right. Paying taxes.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, just putting money into the hands of someone who's giving knowledge, who says that they shouldn't be giving money to anyone, or shouldn't even be or should be going back to nature, is like totally contradictory.
Yeah, it is.
It's so fucked up because people don't even understand. They're so used to it, like with church and everything, the collection plate, that they don't even see it, and I can't even, like, there's a lot of people that, like, are doing right. The thing is, like, the information, and if there's misinformation and a donation attached to it, you can bet your ass that person in cahoots with somebody that they're talking about. Okay, because it just makes no sense. Like, this platform right here, this is your platform. This is Shaq's platform. This is Josh's platform, Danny's platform. This platform here is a platform that could be, used for whatever, but it's used for everyone. And I love the fact that it's like you can go and sign on here right now and do your own stream, and you know what I'm saying, like, and have the panels, and obviously, like, everyone does. But I'm saying it's a place to go where, there is no donations to be accepted. It's just a free information. That's how it should be from the very beginning. You know what I mean? Like, just going in, like, and then in the future, we're obviously gonna do more, like, so slides, and I'm waiting for Danny to get off work later, and I'm gonna chop it up with him, and he's gonna teach me how to vamp up the page and make it right. This place is definitely going to be. I mean, I definitely think that if we do the right thing, we should be shut down in less than a year.
Yeah. Guaranteed, probably less.
Yeah.
Probably
You know what I mean?
less, man.
So once we get shut down, that's when I'll be super duper happy. And obviously we're all gonna link back up and recreate it. But once we get shut down, that just shows that we're doing something right and we're impact and that's the only thing I want, bro. I just want to get shut down. You know? That's all I want. I want no money. I don't want anything. I just want to get shut down because I just want that. I just want that just proves everything. That would prove everything that we'd ever talked about on the show. That would just prove everything, you know? And it would just be something so beautiful. Because and it sounds negative because like, we lose a lot of the information and shit, but like, man, the whole act of it happening just goes to show that there are forces out there that don't want us to get this information out because there's what? Truth behind it. You know?
Right.
And that is the most beautiful thing that I can ever want for this to come out of this whole thing. That and the music. So basically, bro, Danny's we was talking yesterday about the beautiful thing about all of us coming together is we're going to usher in a new influence in the music realm for the conscious people, the people who want to learn about things, but still kind of like stuck on today's music. We're gonna recreate that for them, man. And I think that it's crazy that we are all musically inclined and we can all do this because we're all like the same person. We're all one. And man, I have so many ideas that they will surface. And when they do, man, it's gonna be amazing. I have a bunch of ideas and tracks, and also you do, and also Danny does too. But there's also Masterpiece does music, Bro Sanchez does music, bro. Like we can really, really, really put a new wavelength of music because there's conscious music out there, and it's really good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna act like there isn't, but I mean like for free though, like how we do it. Well, I don't want to. If I put my name on something, I don't want to ever. And we're doing conscious stuff. I don't want to ever, attach a dollar sign to it because it should be free from the beginning. And I've been doing this music for a long time. My cousin, like I've been trying to make money off music forever, And I'm not gonna front to you and tell you that I don't want to make money off music because I will make money off music. It's just that when I'm talking about conscious shit and when I do my shit personally, like when I put my name on it, like my personal name, I'm not charging a dime because that's not what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to a message, but when it comes to like work, like say if somebody wants a beat or a music score or something like that, and I gotta like put in man hours for that, oh, you better believe I'm charging. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely charging for that, especially if it's something that they're gonna be like, putting out negative. And I know that goes back to the, pushing the agenda. But I'm not mad at the government or anything. I'm not sitting there, discrediting them in any way or whatever. I'm just saying to you that my family needs to eat, and unfortunately, I live in America. I don't speak any other language but English, and I didn't ask to be born, so it's really not my fault. You know what I'm saying? But if I can be creative and, that can help me, have a livelihood, create a livelihood for me and my family, then I'm doing that because I'd rather do that than work at McDonald's,
Right.
And that's for damn sure. Huh?
So I respect it. Coming from
Yeah,
that perspective like that.
Yeah, man, because like it just sucks. It sucks that the day and age that we live in forces us to go out there and get money. Like I know you work, you can't tell me you don't work. You live in where you're living in America, and it just sucks that we all have to like literally, even if your work requires you to do what you love to do, you still have to turn that energy of loving energy into dollars. And that is the whole point of this whole shit. Like
I think that's the reason why they focus in on all the like the people who are being creative, like throughout the whole time, because life, that's what life's all about, is being creative. Once you're creative, you find out what life's all about. And it's easier to do that when you're creative, because I feel like that's when you're most the, the greatest potential as a human being is exploited, when you're being creative at whatever it is you do. When your brain opens up, um, after being creative, it's hard to ever be deceived. And I feel like that's the reason why they go after these people who are creative, because like they go and they make this money, they make the money off of them through whatever the paintings or sculptures or music tracks, whatever. And it turns into money that they go ahead and spend on rent or whatever it is that they spend on material. It all goes back to the elite, and it's not like money. It's not about the money. It's about the energy. The energy. It all goes back to them. You know what I mean?
That's right. A lot of people ask me that about NASA JPL. I be like, man, eventually I say that it has to be more than just money, the drive to get all that money for, the billions of dollars a day that NASA gets, but it's the intention. It's the people focusing on these things, is that it gives them power.
Right.
It literally does. The people who really run stuff, they run people. The people who own the printing press, they run people. They don't run money.
Right.
But man, research in Switzerland and Holland, man, I'm telling you, you get a real good grasp of the people who running it and the plans they have for us. Man, it's ridiculous. Make it difficult. And I love it when someone's very genuine about it, that speaking English, we're not going to know these things that's going on by the people who really run it, because they don't speak English. They're used to speaking their own tongue. The Billingsgate language, I mean, it's a language in itself.
I mean, there's got to be secret languages out there that we don't even
know about.
We're not even allowed to study.
That's right.
That's right. Like, and so maybe like the secretest plans is only spoken in that language and written in that language.
Man, so when it comes to that money, Switzerland.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, Switzerland is looking into the Switzerland pharaohs of Switzerland. I've been trying to get everybody to check out those videos, man. I've been trying to get everyone to check these videos out. I live streamed one of the videos one time, showing the people who run it and how they feel about us. And then, now I'm talking about everybody. I ain't talking about just, oh, they're black. No, how they feel about everybody. Whoever is not them. If you're not them, one of them, how they really feel about us and what they do. That whole money scheme is ridiculous. I've been doing a lot of research into the money thing, and it took me to the Bahari. When I got into the Bahari, the way things flow and the currency, it's ridiculous, man. It was originally about gold, silver, and copper. Then the Lombards come in, and now it's about IOU and paper, the bankers, the ME bankers, the barons. It's ridiculous. And you don't really have to really get into history to know it. Just look at what's happening right now.
Right.
It's happening right now. The switch of our money. Basically, you can't operate and do anything of significance with modernity today without having some credit card, a bank account, or you can't do anything in America without those things now. And now you got to have all three. Now you have to have decent credit. You have to have a bank account. And the third one slips my mind. Good credit, bank account, and a certain type of job to really enjoy what we think is living good,
right,
in America.
People are crazy. Like they think that like that life is just easy. Like even if you find 100, say you find some cash, right, and it's like $350,000, right? You can't even take that money, go to a real estate office and say, I want to buy a house. You know, they'll look at you like you're fucking crazy. You know,
IRS will be there in 5 minutes.
you know what I'm saying? Like you can't do it. You know, you can never do it. You have to have your money secured. And what I mean by that, you need paper trail. It needs to come from somewhere. That's the reason why drug dealers, they pay so much money to launder their money, because without laundering the money, it's like you did all that drug deal, all that sacrifice for no reason. You know?
That's right.
Because you ain't gonna buy no house, no assets. Why do you think they made assets only available to be purchased through credit reports and stuff like that? Because they want to be able to seize them whenever they want to.
That's right. The alpha. That's right.
You know, so it's like, you know, you ain't coming. That's why I laugh at these motherfuckers who be like getting all these. They donate, thinking it's gonna be, everything's all going to be Coogee and stuff, like giving up these donations to these people, thinking that they're going to do something with it. Man, they got to go pay taxes on that shit. Not only that, like you really think that they're going to take that money and go live somewhere and be uncomfortable?
Nope.
No, they're coming up. They're coming up. That mean their situation is getting better. You know what I'm saying? Reason why is because like you guys are making it better for him. So he's not going to go and put himself in a worse position and then continue to accept donations. That makes no sense. What you going to be making the money for if you can't use it where you live? I shit in an outhouse, and, you know, like I don't use real toilet paper, and I live like, you know, I live with nature, but I still need your donation. Like, what? Makes no sense.
Hey, was Nature Boy doing that? Was he asking for donations?
Of course he was asking. He's still asking for a donation. He's probably live right now asking somebody for some money. I wouldn't doubt
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. You know what's very interesting about that? Like, I didn't do an AdSense thing until recently, not even a year ago, really. But when I did my Blog Talk shows, I didn't even know that you can get paid by Blog Talk. I did thousands of hours of just putting out information and didn't even know. And the whole time people are putting out bogus information and they're getting paid. I ain't gonna lie, I did feel some type of way. I ain't gonna lie, I did feel some type of way about that. But
of course you're gonna feel some type of way about it, because you put in hard work, man, and you know you put in man hours, bro. And it's a slap in the face to know that somebody else got accomplished, somebody else's family is good off this information, and your family got to struggle, and they're not even this struggling. But I'm not to say that, but they're not benefiting off of the same act. You know what I'm saying? And whatever, it doesn't matter what level of, you know, where they are at in life. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you, it's just about things being fair. But at the same time, like, you got to put your hat off to you, and you got to have more respect to you, because, like, you know, you're a man enough to admit it, and you're not going to sit here and lie and be like, yeah, you know, and the whole time I never wanted to, you know, and like trying to like toot your own horn. You're not doing that. So I respect that. You know what I mean? And that's real. And like, that's one thing that like people think, get it messed up at. Like, you didn't know, your heart was pure. You like so pure that you didn't even have knowledge of that. You didn't even know you can get paid for the longest time because you didn't care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really didn't. I was so excited, just this, like, oh shit, I just found this out. Okay, we're gonna do this. I was just so excited to share. You know, it was like a adrenaline rush for me. You know?
Yeah. And I know that feeling, that adrenaline rush feeling, because like man, like I just get so excited. I used to, that feeling that you're explaining, right? I used to feel that feeling when I used to be like posting a lot on like Facebook and stuff, like on my personal Facebook about certain things. Like I would see shit, I'm like, whoa, like, are you serious? Like, this, people need to know about this. And I had mad friends, like, over, like, you can only get up to 5,000. I had 5,000, and only like 20 people would be responding, like 20 conscious people. And I was like, yo, this shit is bad, yo. Like, what? Like, I lost confidence in a certain type of person. I didn't lose confidence in people as a whole. That's the reason why I'm here today. Like on this thing, like because like I'm just a regular person, and the influence that I have is through art, like with music and stuff. It's not through education, being a teacher. But I feel as though like if you know something, even if you're a regular person, and you don't give the information out to somebody, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all one, and if you live in to understand that, then you are the same as the teacher that's teaching you. So you got to extend his practices. You know what I'm saying? And try to bring truth out there if it resonates with you as truth. You know, like with the 5G. You know,
Yeah.
you see how I touched that?
Yeah, I saw that.
How I touched it, right? Now,
You said you felt some type of charge when you touched it too.
yeah, like a little bit of energy. So my thing is like I told you guys about that, right? But not only did I tell you guys about that, I told a
So
bunch of people, I told a bunch of people in my cab about that. Like people that have no idea what's going on. And most people just was just like, oh, okay. Like how people in New York react to crazy shit. You know, just keep walking. Um, so yeah, man. And I feel like, you know, one lady, she was really appreciative. She was like, wow, thank you for that information. I was like, you see that right there? I was like, those are all over the city, and you know, explaining to her what it's all about and how it's, you know, it's going to interfere with your brain, and how Johnny Cochran died of brain tumors because of, you know, the radio frequency of microwaves from the phone and from the routers, the internet routers and stuff. And she was like, she was saying, wow, man, like that's really really informative. She was appreciative. So I really only reached that one lady after telling all these people in the cab, you know, and it didn't impact you guys as much as it did her, because you already knew about that, you know. And the 5G is just another piece of the information that was already a plan from the beginning. We're just now learning about it now. So in a sense, we already knew about it, but that lady had no idea, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like she probably wouldn't have an idea for a long time had I not tell her. And then if she wants, she could probably go and ask somebody about it. Maybe somebody she trusts more than me. And then when she asks that person about it, they tell her the same thing I tell her, and then she believes it more, you know? And that's the point of getting it out to people who who are just regular, whatever, because they might have somebody in their life that they look up to that is a little more conscious than them. And if you give them like you say, spoonfuls and stuff, then maybe that can help them along the way. You know, that's the most I can say as far as like getting to somebody in an influential way to teach them, because I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm not the person to sit people down in a classroom. And I got, like, you know, I don't have patience, you know.
Yeah.
Especially I don't especially don't have patience for like people who already know stuff, and who already study, but then choose to just like throw away whatever they study because of, you know what I'm trying to say.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you know,
So
I had that problem too before. I had a huge problem on my blog talk shows where we would just go off on anybody that said anything religious. And I'm glad that I checked myself. A lot of, you know, one thing I did that was bad, I used to go around messing with people. I read meta-netta. I'm a real meta-netta speaker. I was being a total a-hole, knowing that it's fake. I was being a total a-hole. I had to make a public apology. You know, like I really had to man up and make a public apology for being disingenuous. And that's the character. Yeah, it kind of leads to that. Also feeds that ego. After a while, you become, well, what I became was, when someone talk about something and it's going in a direction I know it's going. Before I would be real anxious. Oh yeah, woody woody woo woo woo. Now I let people continue on, because something I've learned, when you're researching something and you're knowing something, when you know something, it's like you just finished a ride. You know, you just finished beating a video game. You just finished drinking your favorite juice. It's no longer, you're not going to keep the juice box. You finish beating the game, you're going to buy another game. You finish the ride, you're going to get on another ride. So I when it comes to that now, I'm more, I become a little patient where each person in their own search, that search of it is just, I'm going to say it just like this. I used to make this quote that researching something, it feels better. You know, you have it just feels better, you know, the experience of it and everything. It's like an adventure psychologically. It's more, it's just so much more than when you have the answer, it's dull and boring. You know, it's like the answer is this and that's it. But when it's like, man, I'm researching this, I'm finding this, and on this date this happened, and oh my, did you see what she did to her son? And this is what it said here. You're excited. That when that point of being in research, that's why I remain a student. That point of consistently learning is such a good feeling that when you get people who you know are being disingenuous, like I was mentioning when I was disingenuous, where they're basically they know what they know, but they're still going along with the BS. And I had that issue with people who knew. People, racist Afrocentrics would say, Meta-Netta's this, African did this about it. And I say, no, won't you guys give credit to the people who put it together? They're white. They get so mad at me, you know? They would get so mad at me, but they already knew that.
Right.
And that's, you know, they already knew that it was a white man.
Because, man, you fucking with their pockets, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know, man. Niggas don't gotta eat, son. You know what I'm saying? We out here hustling, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We don't gotta eat, son.
You sound just like Alan from the Dagger Squad, bro.
Yo, check it. Yo, check it, son. I'm gonna tell you something right now, straight up and down. All 5 boroughs, all 5.
Oh, shit. You sound that's exactly Alan right there from the Dagger Squad. That's Alan right there. He's like, yo, son, Zoega, I can't, you gotta fall back. You gotta fall back, Lotus. That's just how he talk, man.
Hey, yo, one thing you gotta remember. Hey, yo, this is my thing. My thing is this, bro. People play on characters, okay? The WCW, the motherfucking music industry, almost every sport there is, okay? They all play on characters, bro. They all got an ego to live up to serve their purpose in this world. And when I'm saying this world, I'm talking about the elite's world, not the natural world.
Right.
Anytime you get somebody who is faced on a platform created by the Zionist Jews of today, they are going to give you an alter ego to protect themselves. And that alter ego is a faggot. That alter ego gets fucked up the ass. That alter ego is a lesbian. Yep. Alter ego is everything that they want the masses to be like. So that when they turn against them, it's too late. The masses already want what you gave them. And when you start to talk about things in a different light, guess what? It's too late. You already created the monster, and they will gobble you up. That's the whole point of this stuff, man. You know, that's the reason why these niggas in New York will never change their accent. They will never change who they, you know what I mean? That whole I'm from New York shit, because they don't, that's their narrative. That's their character. That's what they hold on. That's their ego. That's what they hold on to. Okay. Right. They don't hold on to, they're not trying to speak like they're African, like they talk about. Why not? Why don't you learn the fucking language and go back to fucking Africa instead of talking about my peoples need to come together, get their respirations on. Huh? We need to all combine. Nigga, you sound Jewish right now. You sound like you want a Holocaust, nigga. Yep. You sound like you want a Holocaust. You sound like you want these people to do exactly what they're doing, talking about Black Lives Matter and cops, and get them to get going to war with a cop, so that years from later, your grandkids is gonna be good, because they're gonna be talking about history books is gonna be talking about the Jewish Holocaust. It's gonna be the Blacks Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's what they're pushing. That's the agenda, because you know why? That's the agenda. Young Pharaoh just did a fucking diss record to Johnny Lucas, talk about he is racist, even though his song is clearly called "I'm Not Racist."
Oh man,
So
hypocrisy, that dude.
So and it pisses me off, because like people like us, the everyday people who aren't on the forefront, because we never will be, have to go through shit like this fucking YouTube, and face the chances of us getting shut down, because all we're trying to do is give the truth and help people, and it just sucks for us, because we gotta like really sit back and watch them do what they do, and just wait until the people realize for themselves. That's where the frustration comes in, but that's also where the inspiration comes in too. Because if you can take somebody from that was fucking with the house of consciousness or whatever, and was like, like, oh, I seen the deception, and now okay, I seen the deception, and now things are different. Now I see things for what they really are. That's a win right there. You know what I mean? That's a one up. Like, and that's something that you're doing, because if we're all one, you could create a ripple effect, and that person will tell this person, and that person will tell that person, and so you never know. You break through one person, you can break through the whole community. It just depends on who's that person that you break through. Like, because I can't sit here and preach all that white devil fucking crazy nonsense when you got I got more white people willing to help me with my life than anything, bro.
Hey, crazy, ain't it?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I can't, like, I'm part white myself, man. My grandmother's Greek. You know what I'm saying? White is the walls,
Right.
And it's like, huh?
Majority of us have white in us. Well, I like to go by the nationality of my ancestors.
I feel you. You're just going off of what everybody's common knowledge is, so that they can relate. I feel you.
Exactly. Another part was, oh man, I kind of lost it. Oh damn it, I lost it. Oh shit, it'll come back to me. Something that was on what you were saying.
Bro, this right here, man. This is gonna be epic, bro. I need you to do me a favor. Like whenever you like get to, because what happens? This is what happens. You post, you start posting videos and stuff, right? And then people start to get to talk and get interested, because every time you got something, you come with them gems, man. Whenever you're ready to do that, right? Sign on to the build if I'm not around. So you know what I'm saying? And then stream. You post the broad. That's the reason why, that was my whole intention, so like, because this is free, and we all got like lives to live and stuff, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so if I can't make it one day, you could still contribute to the build and go on and think. And I'm gonna give Danny the password too, man, because Danny's been
I'm about to say I need you to resend that too. I was gonna tell you that before we finish the live.
Yeah. I'm gonna send it to you right now. Actually, I'm gonna send it to you right now. I'm just breaking up this bud. Hold on. But like, yeah, freaking, yeah, man. Because like I said, I'm not trying to be the person that's like on the forefront and everything, because I don't have the patience. Not only that, it's like I'm not a great speaker. You know what I'm saying? I just retain knowledge, and I try to make sense of things. I ask good questions, and I try to keep things peaceful between people, and I'm learning. I'm only 28, man. I don't know how old you are, but like I can tell, like, you know what I'm saying, you're older than me, you know what I mean? And
I just want to. I'm basically here. This is for me is to learn, but like I just took the matters into my own hands to create it because I want to see it happen. You know what I'm saying? Not because I want to be in charge or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, like I want to like stop Shaq or what he's saying. Sometimes, like yesterday, because like I just, for me, it was going to a place that it didn't have to go. You know what I mean? Like, and I wanted to try to avoid that, but things mended themselves, and
That's right, man.
yeah,
and play sports.
Yeah, and things got better. So yeah, so I was gonna say, man, like if you could do that, I'm sending this to you actually right now. If you can do that, like whenever you feel like you want to go out and share the information, just go ahead and stream, and then when I catch it, when I see it on, I'll hop on too. From my other email account.
Okay.
And that goes the same like for whoever's watching, like David and Shaq, Justin, Josh, like whenever you guys feel the need, please, man, don't, because like this, I don't want you guys to feel like this is my show. I don't want to always be talking. I don't want to be on every episode, and because this is the build. This is for us, like this is something greater than me, man. This is something. I want this to stay like something that's like, people listen, man. Like people live every day, right? But any day you can go, bro. You know what I'm saying? I could be gone tomorrow, and like I need y'all to continue doing this stuff because, like my kids, man, I got kids. You feel me? So this is my extension to help them out through life in the later years. If something happens to me, and their mom can be like, "Oh, your dad, he was into consciousness, and if you want to hear him talk or whatever, you can go here," and then they learn something from that. You know what I mean? So everything has a purpose, bro. And I'm telling you that's where my value stands with this stream right here. But I gotta run some errands and stuff, and make some moves. I'm gonna be streaming a little bit later on, or if you want, you can also stream. Like I just said, I'm sending that to you right now as we speak. I'm sorry. Let's see. People. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Follow. Okay, I had to follow you quick. What the heck? What are you doing? Come here. What are you doing? Huh? All right, be good, okay? Okay, I'll play mine. All right. What up, bro? Oh, that's why I had to go to this one. Here we go. All right. Here we go, bro.
Take care of some business. I gotta get my day started too, man.
Yep. Build.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it because it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot, so much information. It's all about staying on key with topic, man. But I have a lot of stuff, man, that I'm definitely gonna hop on every time I can. And just put it out there. There's some information I feel that needs to be put out now. It's two sets of information. I want to say before we get off. I really don't mention this, but I've been putting together something for a couple of years now called 3MP, where we mine, manufacture, and mass produce everything we use for the purpose of using money. No matter what it is, where we make all the things that we pay all this money for ourselves. There's a long, tedious task to it, but let me share that. These are the things that I'm really focused on. This is what I really what I'm really about. If I can find it. Okay. So, all right, let me get it out, man. Let me get this out. Okay. Well, I would create a project, but I haven't really put into where I have a facility to do it. But this is like something I really want to do. I created a project called MADASASDACEHG. I don't want to pronounce it, but it's a project with a whole lot of acronyms. It stands for Major Appliance, Domestic Appliance, Small Domestic Appliance, Consumer Electronics, and Home Electronics, where we build these things. Major appliance or domestic appliance, parts of real estate, large machines, housekeeping, cooking, laundry, food preservation, plumbing, fixtures, refrigeration, washing machines, and dryers. The small appliances or small domestic appliance are semi-portable machines and portable machines, tabletops, countertops, platforms to accomplish household tasks, microwave oven, toaster, humidifiers, coffee maker, air conditioners, TVs, DVD players, video games, remote controls, cell phones, control machines that you use, like control whether it's a cord or not, computers, printers, and even paper shredders. This is like something I've tied into 3MP. In fact, let me get to the 3MP part. This is what I'm really about. I'm tech savvy. I used to do canvassing, used to sell solar panels. So I learned about, the conditions of houses and all the new stuff coming out, double pane windows, that paint that's coated with heat resistance on outside and the inside, proper systems, roofing. You have heat resistant roofing, and that is designed purposely to withstand the weight of solar panels and the many malfunctions that can happen with solar panels. These are the things that I'm really about. I'm really focused on. Like, damn, man, let me find it.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, yo, you have right now, are you using your phone?
Yeah, I'm using my phone.
You have a laptop, right? Yeah, you have a laptop, right?
Yes.
All right. If you want, right, you can whenever you're ready to stream from your laptop, screen share and to make it easier for all of us, and that'd be dope,
Oh yeah, it's once I have it finished. That's what I'm saying. You guys are gonna love it.
Hell yeah! I know the presentation is gonna be crazy because you've been doing this for a minute,
bro. Mine manufacture, mass produce, 3MP.
Mm-hmm.
2MRO, maintenance, repair, overall maintenance, repair operations, where we learn how to fix everything. Oh man, yeah. I've put in a lot years into studying this and putting it together to really remove money. That's my objective. I want to remove money.
Wow.
I see no purpose for it. So I've been working on, finding a way to remove it.
Yeah, A World Without Currency. That was a book that I wanted to write, bro.
Man, I'll buy that book. I know it's kind of contradicting. I'll buy it, but man,
A World Without Currency.
I will read that.
The ideas that I have, man, that we need to do a whole show just based on that, like talking about ideas on how to live without currency and focus straight mainly on that,
Yes.
That's what's gonna be that's what's gonna be the next episode for sure.
Beautiful, because we gotta get this future going, man. I grew up I was born in the 80s. My age, I'm a little bit older than you. I'm 36 now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 37 next year. But yeah, man, I watched Back to the Future. Like, we're supposed to be in flying cars. But for me to find out 10 years ago that flying cars were invented 50, 60 years ago, cars running on water, I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
If it runs on water, I don't need to pay no gas. I don't need to pay for gas. Solar panels. I got solar panels. If I get 4 solar panels and a decent generator, a decent AC/DC, the decency of that, I don't need to pay an electric bill. And then if I have a machine that generates water or goes through the same cleaning of water that our you know, management facilities, I forget the name of the water companies, the specific name for it, but you know, we really don't need anything. We really, yeah, man, I can't wait to do it, man. This is what turns me. I get turned up for this stuff.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, talk about history. This, we own.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And that I'm excited about that because like that's the whole thing. Like that's what my whole point was. Like, let's stop talking about Egypt and stuff like let's understand that yes, that all that stuff was possibly like a sham, but we can create the future. Cool. That's the most beautiful thing about life is we can create the future. Like, yeah, we can talk about all the bad stuff and all that, but the good part about it is that it's in the past and we're living now. That's why I can't even really fuck with the concept of time, really, in a sense to where like, yo, everything is happening right now as we speak. You know, and
you see those images I posted earlier? I put little comments in those images I posted earlier. The person who creates the calendar, like who created these calendars?
Right.
Like who really put a stamp on time? They control our perception.
The questions that we ask, brother, the questions that we ask are simple questions that are asked by everyone, but these questions are so valuable. Hold on, honey bun. Hold on, honey bun. Hold on. These questions are so valuable. They make so much money being being not answered, you know?
Right.
So I mean, like that's the main thing. That's the reason why, like you say, you get excited about that topic. It's because it resonates with you because your spirit, everything inside of you knows that that's what we need to be doing, you know. And everything inside of me feels the same way. And I'm pretty sure a globalist or whatever list they want, whatever, that's
same thing.
It's gonna resonate with them too, you know.
That's right.
You know, so that's so we need to do that. Like, let's that on the build. That would be a
work
key.
On that.
Yeah, on the build, we need to make that like the forefront. Like, yeah, flat Earth is cool and everything. Like, that's a nice thing to think about because, like I said, flat Earth frees you, gold model and traps you, and I believe that to the day I die. But what's beyond that, you know? And beyond that is setting up the blueprint for our future.
I want to make it the best flat Earth it can be.
Right.
Like, cool, it's flat, but I want to make sure it's the best. It's operating at the best. Maintenance repair operations is specifically for machines and stuff, but purposely for creating things that have been messed up with ecosystems and stuff, restoring balances to the best of our potentiality, you know. Right. And I created a preamble too. We aim with participle, circular, primordial speciation to know what our species is really here to do. We provide the eco-friendly, biodynamic, geodynamic tools to function at our ecological potentiality. We will restore balance to ecosystems of all conditions. We're
gonna need all these machines and everything once we figure out that. We're gonna need it to. Well, okay, we dug all these holes everywhere. Well, we're gonna need the same machines to fill them back.
That's right. Man, and put some of the minerals we took out back into the earth. Mm-hmm. You know, we need to get a lot of gold in places instead of them collecting it. We need to put it back where we got it from. Right. What was the purpose for it on the earth to do? It's cool what we use it for now, but we need to minimize that and find out what is the earth needed for it. Obviously, the earth has more importance or has more use of it or has a purpose of it. It's here on the planet, and we take it and manipulate and do what we do with it and innovate what we make with it. But it's like we need to have a balance of that. Like if taking out too much minerals, we need to get some stuff back into the mines. You know, put some stuff back.
Let's do that, bro. Let's really do that. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Josh? I need you to do me a favor, brother.
What it is?
What's good, man? What we're talking about right now is like living a world without currency.
That's good. That's the way they did before. That's according to history, you know. I mean, quote history that tell you that prehistoric man didn't have currency as we know it.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. Basically, we're building on like what we need to be doing. Going forward.
Also, our bodies, like almost every animal, when they have a bowel movement, that waste is used for something. Really, you can't even call it waste because it supports the ecosystem in some form or fashion. No matter what we do, unless it's altered food that we created with GMO stuff. But the natural sense of it, the proper, well, not the proper, but the correct ecosystem, the ecology of it, you know, the geodynamics of it. Like what are we supposed to eat, naturally supposed to eat, and where our waste is used for something, our urine is used for something. Like almost all animals and insects, like everything that's done in their cycle has a purpose. And a lot of people have made this theological postulation greater than animals and insects and everything that flies and everything in the seas, because the Bible told us so. And we don't even know what our true purpose is. That's another thing I wanted to get into. That's another project I put together that I want to start really, you know, start sharing instead of just keeping it a secret. It's another long name. Another long name, geodynamics, oceanography, primordial, ecological, consumer organics, biodynamic engineering, and holistic organics, as in herbs, roots, algae, and tree bark. You know, getting to that would be for a person that's a little more learned in, you know, holistic studies and geo surveying and stuff, you know, but our purpose that we serve in it, like, what are we supposed to do for the earth? I mean, even ants are going down into the earth, getting the smallest of all kind of minerals and building things. And those things they build is like, it's water resistance. Water doesn't even soak into it. Termite mounds, same thing. You know, we need to really find out what we're really supposed to be doing, basically. Earlier, it's cool, it's flat, but now what? You know, that's what I'm saying. I want to know everything it is about my body, everything there is about. I want to know why I grow fingernails, but we don't use them. Animals grow nails and they use it. I want to know why animals come out and operate immediately, can walk, see, and all kind of other things. I want to know why insects do it right off the jump. They're like, boom, we're out, we're doing it, you know. But when we're born, holy shit. If we don't have some breast, or some coconut, or some, you know, something that's close to what the breast is, the breast milk, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. We don't have somebody over us to, you know, not saying that those baby insects don't die, or the baby crabs don't get ate by seagulls, and the baby turtles get ate by seagulls and other things and all that stuff. Those, you know, the things happen. You know, those things happen. But I'm saying that as a child, we're not even operational, like we can operate our joints and stuff to really walk and do all those things until years later. But I've watched a horse born stand right up. So it's something about us that I've really been looking into, and I really didn't get a more personal look into it until I was in the medical field. And when I got to the medical field, I started, you know, studying the medicines I'm giving my patients, you know, seeing what's going on. Like, they have to take this in order to eat, that eating 3 times a day is what a dying person does. Overfeeding ourselves, eating 3-course meals, eating 2 different types of meats on the plate while we're eating our 3-course meals, overstressing our intestine system and all that. Like, these are the things I'm heavily into. It's really knowing us, who we are. Couldn't have a biased approach. I did it first when I got into the whole social media thing. I did it first. After a while, man, it just started clicking. Like, I need to know everything on this planetary stuff, how people live, where I can find the similarities and see, like, okay, well, why do they do that? There's people that put lip plates in their lip. Why? There's people who do scarification. Why? People are doing the rings on the neck to stretch their neck out. Why? How does this help them? So I'm like, what is our true purpose in the ecosystem, like in the ecology of our biology? Where do we come in? You know, to I don't like saying serve. I'm kind of coming off biblical, but like, what is our true purpose? I mean, it's cool, like learning and knowledge and being spiritual and all that stuff, but what is our actual like physical thing we're supposed to do? Like, what can my poop be used for? My bowel movement be used for? My urine, my tears, my sweat, my spit, my blood, all these different things can be used for stuff. And it's like, as society as a whole today, we're so focused about the music, that the Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and what Jay-Z's mad about his $6 tickets, and Oprah said this, and this person did that, and everything that's going on. The biblical side, or the ones following the spiritual stuff, I find that a lot of it is really missing what I'm talking about right now. Like, why do men have nipples? You know, what are these things for? Not producing. We don't have memory glands. Why do we have these things? Like, really knowing my body, you know, really knowing. I'm not taking a knock at anybody who does any type of thing, but I find it interesting that when I was a vegan, I thought I had it all together. Found out I did not. Changed up. I went back to eating meat just out of like disgust and anger of following something, and I refused to follow something. And then I said, let me do a cleanse and let me like look into stuff, and did it. And it's like, I'm still following someone to where now I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, something about my body that I'm not going to learn from any outside source. I need to know I need to communicate with my own organs. You know, I need to communicate with my heart, my liver. I like personally want to have a communication with them. Like, I really want to have it where I could focus on my heart and feel my heart, and like I'm really feeling it, you know, when every time I breathe, really feeling it, you know, my eyes, when I look at something, feeling my eyes as I look, and really, you know, just like really getting the full potential out of the human experience, in lack of a better word. That's why I created the preamble, where that's basically the focus, to really know what we're supposed to do with our bodies. Besides procreation, simple things, but you know, these things I've been heavily looking into. I always wonder, like, why do we sweat? And you know, the scientists are going to say this, and why do we do this? Scientists are going to say that. Well, how do I feel when I sweat? How do I feel when I urinate? Whereas when I have a experience of orgasm, or all these different things, man, I want to know the full potential of it and find out how it applies to, because I just don't think that the public is really being given, you know, what I'm talking about. And I've talked to people all around the world, and everybody has their own spin on certain things about it, and taboos connected to it. I really want to know, man. I want to know. And you know, earlier this year, I created Monday to really Saturday. Mm-hmm. And on one of the days, I specifically talked about it. It was Tuesday. I created a thing where it was primordial biology, chemistry, and physics versus philosophical, medical, and mathematical theoretical science. Talked about these things, and I could not even grasp the totality of it then. Now I have a better grasp of it, and I can't wait to really implement it here on the build. I just wanted to share that. I know it won't be a little too long-winded, but man, I want to know. What purpose does my poop serve besides smelling bad? You know, animal poop does all. Horse manure, grass is going to grow. Cows, they eat the grass and poop it back out, and it grows. They don't even need anybody. They're just eating poop. That's it. So I need to know our purpose and what it serves. Or what are we supposed to do? So I know I wasn't born to pray, to sit and just pray all day. Me chanting all day is not that much different than praying all day. Me doing Tai Chi and all that, and Qigong and all that ain't no different. But none of them are really giving us what's the purpose in the ecosystem? Like if I poop, what survives off of that? You know, but I'm trying to get into it. And I know there's scientists have given somewhat of what their speculative theory is on it, but it's something I wanted to look into. I just wanted to bring this up for the family. Think about a little bit. I want to know it, man. I want to know it.
I said, I dig it. Your ambition, I can dig it. Like I can feel you. You know what I'm saying? Like the passion. You know, like how you feel, like how you want to know it. Like,
yeah.
You know, I think that's something we all can relate to. We all have that same. We all have that same type of feeling. You know. But go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take over.
No, you good. Yeah, man.
I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, I want to know it. I want to teach it. You know, I went through somewhat of a rites of passage as a child, so I did get a little insight on my body, certain things that I could show better than explain, and other things that I didn't understand then, and I just started really understanding. One is the olfactory bulb. You know, I shared the information on the olfactory bulb before. How that one sensory, it all the other senses. Now, once sense goes down, yeah, you're gonna get heightened senses in the other, areas. You go blind, your hearing, your taste, your smell is gonna become heightened because, well, what they say, because you lost one of your senses, it enhances the other senses, or because your brain and everything, the way it regulates, because that's shut down, now it has to metamorphosize in some way. I don't want to say evolve, metamorphosize to where these things are viable, And so being blind, being deaf, doesn't enhance a person's eyesight, So these are like things I've been looking into. Like being deaf don't enhance someone's eyesight. It's not like they can see like an eagle. Their smelling and their taste buds not being able to hear. The other ones you can't really take away at all. Taste, of course, feeling, and smelling. So what happens is when I looked into the olfactory bulb as a child, and I was participated in a science project, the human body. My primary or my premise of what I wanted to talk about in the human body was the olfactory bulb, because I was so stunned and amazed by all the effects it has on all the other sensory. And me doing it then, I had no idea how important the olfactory bulb is. That's how your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, receives what it does to do what it does. That's the only way it can function, is from what the olfactory bulb lets into the brain. The only way what we call CO2 gets into the brain is by way of the olfactory bulb, unless you poke a hole in your brain. It's not going through your ears. When you inhale through your mouth, that's going down into your lungs. You can fill up your stomach and your lung, but not the brain. So that olfactory bulb plays such a key figure in it. And when I stopped listening to others talk about it and what I read about it, and I started using my own body to study it, I found out how to flex my olfactory bulb. And I literally, at any time in will, can flex my olfactory bulb and literally feel it get tense and all that. And that's when I found out that when I hold my breath, 3 ways of holding your breath. You can hold your breath where you pull air into your mouth and you fill up your stomach. You can you expand your stomach and then you release the air. You can do it where you fill up your chest. You release the air. You'll feel your lungs and that pressure of it. You know, some people who have lung disease or something, they try and do that and they go, they'll start breaking down. Or if you smoke too much, you know, you might get a cough. You know, I smoke sometimes, so I've done it. So I know the experience of it. But when I hold my breath, I've noticed something after I let go of what I read and what other people told me about it, that when I hold it, I go, and I feel intensity around my olfactory bulb. I feel my whole nasal cavity and all that tense up. And then I found out that if I keep doing it, and then I started looking into when you get nervous, when you're scared and panic, and when you're about to fight someone. Like all these things tie into that olfactory bulb. When you get hyperventilating, your olfactory bulb is doing too much. You know, you're overworking your lungs and all this other stuff, but your olfactory bulb is what's really going haywire. It's going crazy when people hyperventilate. And that's why they're trying to breathe. They're going to go, they're trying to fill this up because that up down there is, I mean, that up there, your olfactory bulb is going through some issues. And blowing something out of your nose, when people do drugs through their nose, you are literally destroying your olfactory bulb. If you're doing crystal methamphetamine, you're cutting up the microscopic hairs that pick up on all the stuff that feeds the brain. You know, you're messing that up. When you do cocaine, it's really that I believe it's ether or whatever else they put in that. It's tearing up the olfactory bulb, but you're gonna get the sensory. You know, this thing is something that I never heard anybody really talk about. Everybody talked about melanin and pineal gland and all that, but they never brought up the olfactory bulb. And I should just sit patiently and keeping that information to myself. You know. Hold on. Family, continue. I got a little call. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, it all ties in, and as he said, that's another piece of the puzzle. That's all I could add to that.
All right, I'm at 100. I gotta make a run to the store. Take care of some business, brother. Flat Earth. My lady thinks she's funny. We live streaming, babe. Relax on your jokes. Silly. Anyway, gentlemen.
Yeah, man. All love. Do what you do. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, I'm still on by, I'm being traffic. A lot of noise in the background. Oh, brother Josh, come back. Where he go? Only do one. Why? All right, man. You gonna let me go crazy on the live stream? Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. I had to regulate around here. Know what I mean? Put things in order. You got shit in order. Roof. Brother James, I don't know if you stepped away for a minute. I noticed you had to go take care of something. Live stream open, but I'm gonna hop out for a second. I'll be back in. I'm a thing and some very interesting videos tied into that type of information, man. That I will literally dedicate time, like I promised before, where I will share this information here. You know, so I really want to get it out. It's cool to get paid, but I want to put this stuff out. It needs to be out now. And as a lot of the elders told me, because I do have some of this stuff. I do know some things that can get the stuff shut down, where they eventually will shut us down. I don't want to get it shut down yet, so I want to get this stuff out first before I really go there. But anyway, family, I'll be back in a moment. You're still live streaming. I don't know if you stepped away, if you can hear, but everything's still live and going. Check out the video comments. So everyone in the comments. Also, we need to start putting wrenches in admin. So, you know, in due time, we'll have people coming in that want to sabotage our stuff. But we're pretty strict and well-rounded, and we know each other where we won't get in, have people come in and snipe our stuff. So, man, this is the build, and we are going to build.
Yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo.
Oh, okay.
Yo, what's up? You there?